Hi, my name is Sam Grieger from Zero Cosplay. I've been a cosplayer for 10 years and today I'm at my favorite thrift store, St. Vincent de Paul, to see if I can find some costume pieces I can use. Let's check it out. Oh, actually, you know what? Tyler Durden has an orange tank top on. But it's mesh and it says Hustler right here, but maybe we don't need to find that. So the Joker actually wore a very similar Skechers shoe in the opening of The Dark Knight when he's robbing the bank. So I'm gonna keep these in my back pocket just in case I need them. So they also have kind of a sports equipment section, which is perfect. Okay, this is way too tiny for me, but you'll get the point. This could be a set of armor or a space suit or anything that I can layer on top of this. This is an excellent and sturdy base to start with. Okay. Look at this. Look at this beauty in the wild. It looks like a tennis shoe crossed with a dress shoe, and they had the clasp to put Velcro on it. And if anyone can tell me what this is, I'm wondering myself. And what we have here is all of your dad's ties. Every single one throughout his entire life, every anniversary, when your mom couldn't think of a better gift, they're all here. So when I come here, I look at almost everything else in the store too, see if I can find anything unique and interesting. And bingo, we have a Batman and Robin mug from McDonald's in the 90s sometime. It's horrible, but that's why I love it. So when I come here, I also always check the toy aisles, at least a little bit, because I've found things here that are old or very expensive or incredibly rare, and people don't know what they have and they just donate it. And you can find it and it's the prize of your collection, or you sell it for a bunch of money. So always check these aisles out. This is actually pretty cool. This is a toy version of Batman's grapple gun in Batman Begins. Now if you cut this off and change the colors a little bit, this could be a perfect grapple gun prop for any Batman costume. So I'm actually gonna buy this. Okay, this is a find. This is incredible. I don't know if I could find a use for it, but I will literally do anything as an excuse to wear this in public, if I can find it out. This is embarrassing. What are you thinking? So this is an example of exactly the kind of thing that I am looking for. It's a full leather trench coat. It would be super expensive new, but at a thrift store, it's 10, 15 bucks, probably less. And it could serve any number of purposes. It's very high quality. When you're at a place like this, you can't really afford to be picky because you don't really know what's there and you gotta find one specific thing for the day. So the clothes, you kind of have to think of them as gender neutral. Just find something that works. Doesn't matter if it's a blouse or a shirt. I literally have a couple blouses in my house that I bought for costumes. They just look like Hawaiian shirts, but they had to be the right color, and I found them here. And I literally cannot tell you how many purple Joker jackets I have in my house from the women's section at thrift stores. So check them out. They're exactly the same as the men's jackets. They might button the other way. That's the only difference. As you can see, this is the animal print, predominantly leopard print section. It begins here and ends here, 3 years later. So the kind of things that I look for in a place like this is something that would be expensive new, or would be really hard to come by, really hard to find out in the wild. So these leather pants fit the bill perfectly. I don't know what I would use them for, and they are way too small for me, but potentially this is something that's expensive, hard to find, and you can find it here for super cheap. So this is absolutely perfect. This is exactly one of the things I'm looking for. It's kind of weird that I found it when I did. And I'm not gonna tell you what it's for, but this is exactly what I wanted. So one of the things I wanted to show you today is my Vulture helmet from Spider-Man Homecoming. It's one of the things I'm most proud of because it has lights, it has movement, it has all this stuff that's really hard to do. And as you can see, there's the lights in the eyes like in the movie, and the visor, it's an old pilot's helmet. It still flips up, and you can see the lights inside, and I can see through it no problem. You flip it down and you're ready to go. And this is the one I won a costume contest with, so it is very near and dear to my heart. Schwink! My Star-Lord over here I have to show you. This is before Star-Lord helmets were available online to buy and stuff like that. So I had to make the entire thing from scratch, finding all the little pieces and figuring out where I could get these oddly shaped objects. Like for example, around the eyes here, that's actually the cap to a flashlight that I just unscrewed and shaped and glued on. So another big part of my workshop that doesn't quite fit the rest of the theme is all of these figures and toys here. And the reason they're here is just kind of to inspire me visually with their costumes. A lot of them are weird characters or interesting designs. And many of them I've actually cosplayed myself. So they serve as just kind of my little trophy, smaller example of what I've done. Some of my favorite tools that I use that are essential for every cosplayer. The first one is super obvious. It's just a glue gun, but I've had this one forever since my last one literally started on fire. So I'll probably run this one into the ground as well. And the second thing is this heat gun here. And this has been with me for probably a decade, and use this to heat up and then shape the foam. And then when it cools off, it stays in that position. So everything you're gonna see here today, this touched it and that touched it. What started all of this was being a kid and watching Star Wars for the first time and seeing Boba Fett in Empire Strikes Back and just being so enamored and attracted to the armor and how cool it was and battle damaged and beat up. So the first thing I started to do was rip apart electronics, find little pieces I could use. I took apart my mom's vacuum cleaner in our basement, and I would just put that together into a makeshift jetpack, and before I knew it, I had a whole set of armor, and I was on my way. So humble beginnings. Boba Fett is the first one. So my biggest influence obviously is Star Wars. That's like first and foremost. Right behind that comes the Batman universe and that like comic universe, but more of a gritty aesthetic I really like. I like things realistic. I like things battle damaged and worn and believable. And to me, Marvel was always a little bit colorful for me. It's not until the latest movies where things are more realistic, things are more like militarized if they have to be, or you know, there's a reason these things are in the universe. And back in the golden age of Marvel, it was just so colorful. I didn't like it that much. More of the brooding Batman type, I think. As far as films, it would be things like any of the work of Stan Winston, who did the special effects for, I mean, he created the Terminator, Predator, the Alien, all the dinosaurs in Jurassic Park. He was my biggest influence as far as crafting and creating and fabricating, you know, parts of costumes or creatures or whatever I'm doing at the time. I mean, it's my hobby. Obviously, it's my biggest hobby. It's the thing I do the most, dump the most time and money into. But it is kind of an art. I would say some pieces are an art. Making a helmet from nothing is an art. Making a whole chess piece that's crazy intricate and painted up and stuff, I mean, that's an art. But I would say it's probably closer to a hobby. Art's supposed to make you feel something. That's kind of what defines it, so, although I guess people do get excited. Okay, it's kind of both. It's both. Because like the second a little kid sees you and they freak out, like I had a little kid, one of my first times cosplaying in a full suit, run up to me and grab my leg and hug it, and he wouldn't let it go. Even after his parents were like, come on, come back. He's like, I want to stay with the spaceman. And that was like such a heartwarming, incredible moment. That kid felt something, and even adults feel something too. I get people coming up to me and they're like, oh my God, man, your stuff's crazy, I love it. So I guess if it evokes feeling, it's right in the line between art and a hobby, but I'm glad that I can make people happy or hyped up when they see a character they love brought to life to the best of my ability. I mean, that's what I want to do. I want to appeal to people and bring them joy, and I want to feel good about myself too. Like, you don't feel any better in your life than when you're dressed as a stormtrooper walking around and everyone's smiling at you and taking photos and stuff like that. The little 15 minutes of fame thing is really cool too. My advice, if you're just starting cosplay, if you take an interest to it, go to conventions, read comics, see popular movies, any of that, just start. I mean, you can't look at the people around you and compare yourself and say, I couldn't do that, because if I looked at myself now when I was 12, when I started, I would be saying, I could never do that. I only have pieces of my mom's vacuum cleaner and $7. So just don't compare yourself. Just start where you're gonna start, have it be terrible, and keep moving forward and keep moving on. Get better tools, get more techniques, watch more videos, shoot me a message, whatever. And you're gonna get better, but it takes time. I've been doing this for over 10 years now, and I'm still evolving every year. I'm trying something new that I didn't do last year, and I'm terrified to do. So just keep at it, and you'll get good, you'll get great. If you're interested in finding more of my work, you can find me on Facebook at Black Zero Cosplay. You can also find me on Instagram at the same name, Black Zero Cosplay. And shoot me a message if you need help, if you need tips, you need me to make a video showing how to do something, you want to get a closer look at one of my props, costumes, whatever, just let me know and hit me up there.